Whoa.
Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of I Got the Shakes That'll Make You Quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the podcast that'll... I just got podcast. Today we are talking about sports movies. And in the spirit of sport, we have made today's episode one big competition. We are foregoing the pitches and all the other intellectual conversations that we have become so well known for. And today we're just having 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 fights, depending how the night goes. And as usual, we have brought a couple of expert guests along the way. We are going to be joined by Jory, who's here for the first time, and Kevin, who some of you guys may know from our last episode.
Woo-woo.
Both experts in sports, movies, and sports movies.
That's right. Yep.
So we're going to jump right into it because we got a packed agenda today. Our fights today include who is the best sports MVP, what is the best fictional sport from a movie, which sport has the best filmography, and I think what's going to be the best fight of the night, what is everyone's top 5 basketball lineup made out of movie characters.
Which Paulo is going to win.
We'll see. So we'll jump right into it. As usual, Jory, why don't you introduce yourself with a character and a movie that lets the audience know who you are.
Sure thing. Thanks, Carson. Again, my name is Jory. Happy to be a guest on this podcast here. When Carson threw these questions at me and asked me to represent myself as a character from a movie, 2 characters really jumped out to me, and that would basically be Squints from the Sandlot and Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks. I think I'm a combination of both of those, and the reasons to me are very plain and simple. For Goldberg, it's that anxious nervousness, but still always getting the job done, saving the goals, winning the gold medal, whatever Goldberg did for the team. For Squints...
So not like the wrestler.
No, not like the wrestler. No, look at me. Not like the wrestler. Squints to me is that like nerdiness, sarcasticness, and yeah, I just love that movie, so I had to pick someone from there.
Awesome. Kevin, we're going to forego your introduction because you did it last time. I will do a shout out, though, that Kevin is the first person on our show who has attained the title of Friend of the Show as our first returning guest. So thank you for that, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
One quick little roundtable we're going to do, just to give you an idea of who's here and what our opinions are on sports movies, is just want to ask you guys, what's your favorite sports movies and why do you like it? Like, what are you looking for in the sports movies? So, Paulo, how about you go first?
Oh, man, it's so tough because I don't know, just the sports movies in general, they really speak to me, you know. So, in the interest of being realistic, I'm going to say Space Jam, for obvious reasons. It's the first one I'm pretty sure that I grew up with, and just like even when I rewatch it nowadays, it hasn't lost the magic. Although I know you'll disagree with me on that one, Carson. But I mean, like, it's really just a perfect movie. And Carson's
Perfect.
Carson's face is so angry right
Oh,
now.
no, we're around.
Yeah, no, but like, just it means a lot to me in terms of history and just like.
So what do you think about the prospect of Space Jam 2?
Let's not talk about that.
Jory, how about yourself?
We'll go back to the earlier question. I'll just go back to the Sandlot. For me, it's not about that's my favorite sports movie. I would tell you that's my favorite movie of all time. There's a variety of reasons. It's a feel-good story from the team's perspective. It's a feel-good story from Benny Rodriguez taking the kid under his wing and you know, making him feel like part of the town. And I can't leave out Wendy Peppercorn. I mean, God, Wendy Peppercorn.
Wendy!
I think the first erection I remember ever getting was to the Sandlot. Great fucking movie.
Oh my god.
Kevin, how about yourself?
For me, I would have to say, if I had to pick one, would be The Longest Yard.
The original or the new
Oh,
one?
the new one, because I never saw the original, so I would say
Okay.
The Longest Yard. It's a feel-good movie in a sort of a sense because it's put in a weird place. You have convicts playing security guards.
As good as you could feel about prison.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So you have a bunch, and it's a really good true underdog story too. So you have a bunch of nobodies, a bunch of people that have been literally thrown in to like darkest holes on the face of the earth, or in that part of the world, and they actually have a chance to showcase what they have. And you, at the end of it, you're like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for myself, I think my favorite sports movie is actually the documentary Hoop Dreams. I think it's like if you look at your experience of playing sports, for 95% of teams, their year is going to end in failure, or it's going to end in losing. And so I kind of hate all these inspirational sports movies where it's just like the good team's going to win. And I like that Hoop Dreams was a lot more than that. It was about what does sports contribute to a person as a whole? Like, what does that mean? What does it take to get there? Because there's a lot of characters, especially in sports movies, that are they're just naturally amazing. And I kind of like seeing how much those guys had to sacrifice and how much they had to put into it to even just have a chance at a career. So it was. I like that type of
hard work.
We just want the happiness, but I'll respect that. I'll respect that.
I don't like happiness, goddammit. All right, so we're gonna jump now right into social media. Paulo, take it away.
All right, a lot to talk about for our social media update this month. So first and foremost, I'd like to plug our official Houston We Have a Podcast Twitter. That will come up later in my update. So just keep in mind it's at HWHA Podcast. Just in the interest of not mixing it up with NASA's NASA's Twitter, or sorry, NASA's podcast. Also, so actually the reason I plug that is because next month we are having our AMA, Ask Me Anything episode. So it's a general episode where you get to ask us, you the listeners, all 10 of you, get to ask us all the burning questions you have for us, and that is what our episode will be. And the catch is, whether they come in through Instagram or Twitter, half of us will not be seeing these questions. I did not explain that well.
Basically, wherever you submit it, we'll make sure that who's ever answering the question is seeing it for the first time. So don't be afraid to ask something silly or bizarre.
Yeah, that
makes it
more
better.
sense.
Also, 10 listeners, that's a bit bold. We're not there yet.
We are.
No, you guys are there. I think
Run the analytics. Run the
I think it's a
analytics.
13. If
Let me
anything.
turn to our
You guys are above
stats really
10.
quick.
Guaranteed.
5 of them are in this room
Hey,
right
wait.
now. 5.
Still counts, man. It still counts.
5. No, actually, one of the people in this room, our live studio audience doesn't even listen. So there's 4 of us.
And now.
He said, "I am now." So we have, we have 10. Oh no, sorry. So we have 10 likes. Let's call that out. I would also like to shout out our one hater from Austria. Know you're listening. That is our one dislike.
Fuck off.
so
Yo,
far.
fuck you,
fuck
man.
Austria.
Fuck you.
Let the Jewish
it.
guy speak to Austria.
Guys, my mom's listening.
Okay.
Adina, how are you?
But
If we've
anyways.
learned one thing from sports movies, it's to hate other countries. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really is.
Perfect.
My in Iceland.
Moving on. What else? Right. Just to remind you guys, we do have that official Twitter. We will be starting the official Houston We Have a Podcast Instagram once we reach 25 followers. So you know what? Like, subscribe, comment on Instagram, on Twitter, on my Instagram. Sorry, I'll plug that one too at PAOLOVSTHEWORLD.
What is that again?
I'm surprised you didn't misspell that.
If you
Long
missed
as hell.
it, if you missed it, it's too bad. So yeah,
That's why you have 10
I will be
followers.
posting for this episode later, where you can answer the question that I will be asking later on for the audio clip from our expert Jory. What else? I think that is it. Oh, Carson has a special announcement at the end of the episode, so stay tuned for that. Take it away, Jory.
Audio clip time.
Oh, sorry. And
What do I do?
Press play.
Jory, I know you have prepared an audio clip for us. Would you like to? Just
Yeah,
give
we'll
a
tee
little-
it up. Again, we're circling back. I promise I'll talk about different movies as this podcast progresses. But we're going back to the Sandlot again, and it's honestly my favorite scene from the movie, aside from Wendy Peppercorn lotioning and oiling and lotioning and oiling. Anyways, sorry, a little distracted. But the scene when the rival team comes and, the Sandlot crew has to go battle it out against them, it's my favorite scene by far.
It's easy when you play with a bunch of rejects and fat kids, Rodriguez.
Shut your mouth, Phillips.
What'd you say, crap face? I said you shouldn't even be allowed to touch a baseball. Except for Rodriguez, you're all an insult to the game. Come on! We'll take you on right here, right now! Come on! Right now! We plan a real diamond, Porter. You ain't good enough to lick the dirt off our cleats. Watch it, jerk. Shut up, idiot. Moron! Scab eater. Butt sniffer. Pus licker. Fart smeller. You eat dog crap for breakfast, geek. You mix your weeds with your mama's toe jam. Yeah! You bob for apples in the toilet, and you like it. You play ball like a girl. What did you say? You heard me. Tomorrow. Noon. At our field. Get the buffalo butt breath. Count on it, pee-drinking crap face. Yeah! Let's go! Jerks.
All right, so thank you, Jory. So for all our listeners out there, our question for this month is, what is the opposing team's name? The ones that play ball like a girl, like girls, plural. Remember, if you answer this question correctly, you have a very good shot of being our next guest or being shouted out, whatever you want.
Or being a friend of the show.
Or being a friend of the show, you never know. Take it from Kevin. So, speaking of, I'm going to throw it to Kevin. He is our expert sports movie judge who will be judging the next few fights. So, Kevin, what do we got?
Thank you, Paulo. So today we're going to be talking about the sports movie MVP. So we're going to be talking about who in all the sports movies you think is the best overall athlete. And we're not including combat sports because that's going to be used for a completely different segment. So for today, it's generally going to be like I won't say team sports. I'll say sports that don't involve getting hit in the face.
Well,
By other people.
Within
On purpose.
no
just
or in a
no
ring.
fighting.
Or in a ring. No fighting.
Just
No
no
boxing, no
Better plug,
jiu-jitsu,
no fighting.
no
Yes.
karate kids.
Oh, that's a good point.
There's a lot of good boxing movies we can
There
talk
are.
about.
So we can't cover it all in one segment, so that's why we're going to cover it in another one. So today we're going to start off with my friend, Mr. Carson. And please take it away.
Okay, so my pick for sports movie MVP is Paul Crewe from the 2005 movie The Longest Yard.
Cheetah.
My reason for him and my argument's going to be sports,
shit.
as we know, is not just about one person. It's about the team. And so I think the MVP has to be someone who makes everyone around them better. Paul Crewe is a great athlete. He plays multiple sports, but at the same time, I think his greatest achievement is taking a bunch of convicts, a bunch of people who should not work together, people who are legitimately psychopaths, and making them work together and getting the best out of everyone. Like, he takes people who disrespect him, he takes people who hate him.
Sounds
he
so
takes
much
people,
like the NFL, though.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
kidding. I'm playing.
he has that perfect balance of being a star contributor himself, but also at the same time making everyone around him better as well. So that's my argument.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Carson, for that. That was very articulate.
As always, from Carson.
As always. Next, I'm going to choose Mr. Paulo Vergara. I know I said
Don't put my last name.
I know I
out
last
there
named him.
on the internet. Are you crazy?
All right.
I'll
Sorry.
edit it out.
Okay.
I won't.
Whatever. I want everyone to know who came up with the real sports movie MVP, and that is Bobby Boucher, the water boy, also the best football player in all of sports movies.
All right. State your
So-
argument, please.
Oh, please allow me. When we're talking about sports movie MVP, we're talking about just complete dominance of his field, all right? Bobby Boucher was not only a game changer, he, like Carson mentioned how Paul Crewe like took a bunch of misfits and took them and made something out of them. Bobby Boucher took a team the Mud Dogs that were in a years-long losing streak.
A years long.
Many years.
A years long.
I don't know how many years, but a very long losing streak.
Yeah.
And not only did he make them better, he took them to win the Bourbon Bowl in his first season ever playing football, not just playing organized football. He had never played football before, and it's just pure talent. And not only did he play defense, which is like the hardest way not the hardest way to impact a football game or to win a football game, but he played both sides of the ball. Cough cough, Paul Crew. And not only did he play both sides of the ball,
On the fuck ball.
he was on the offensive play that actually won the Mud Dogs the Bourbon Bowl. Keep in mind, again, I can't stress this enough, he had never played football before.
Are you finished yet?
No, okay, I'm done. I think I've said enough. That is my pick.
All right, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump.
Enough out of you. All right, let's go. Next one.
I'm gonna jump in without even an introduction, and I'm gonna ask both Paulo and
Sorry,
Carson.
I apologize
That's
for
okay. Both of you need to take your Adam Sandler football movies and just leave, okay? All right. Call me after Grown Ups 3, and we'll talk about what else is coming. For me, this question's very simple, and it goes back to my number 1A sport beside basketball, and that's baseball, and it's Roy Hobbs in The Natural. If you remember the film The Natural, the story is that it starts out and he's a high school pitcher, and in the very first couple of scenes, they allude to the fact he's thrown 8 no-hitters as a high school senior. When he goes to try out for the Chicago Cubs, I believe it is, he gets shot on the train ride to his tryout and has to disappear from baseball for about 15 years.
Did you say shot?
He gets shot.
he does. With a gun.
With a gun.
Okay.
By a woman he loves. It's a tragic story.
It's actually based on a true story.
It is.
Like from someone in 1949 or.
It was a book
long
too.
Time ago, long time
Anyways, when he finally gets his shot, he gets called up and he plays for the New York Knights. Obviously not a real team. He gets benched for the first 3 weeks of his career until in batting practice, first swing, he's just launching home run after home run over the fence. And I believe if you watch that movie, you see maybe 10 games being played and 17 home runs. So for me, it's very simple. Project that out. That guy was the greatest baseball player of all time. End of discussion. Let's move on. Thank you, please.
Wow. Okay. You guys make all very good, compelling arguments.
Let me at him. Let me.
Oh shit! All right,
ready to go
so
here.
I think the real MVP here is Adam Sandler. This guy plays like everything. No, but if I was gonna pick someone out of all this, I would have. To
Are you picking a winner? We still have another like few minutes.
Do
Go
we?
at it.
Really?
Yeah. Let's
Oh,
talk this out.
sorry.
Carson.
Okay. You know what?
We
Do
have
this.
counter arguments
My
here.
apologies. Okay. Yeah. Fight it out.
Hey, guys,
Let's go.
guys.
My
he was-
apologies. I was
Okay.
getting ready.
already gonna pick Bobby Boucher. It's okay.
Okay,
No, I wasn't.
so
No, I wasn't.
here's the argument for Roy Hobbs is he's great at one thing. He has an unfortunate thing that ends his career, and then he comes back and he's great at a second thing. For me, this is Tim Tebow, but not as good. Tim Tebow came in.
helping you.
He did it for multiple years, and he was a huge he changed the game almost a little bit for a little while. He took the Denver Broncos to places they never should have been, and now he's coming back, and he's not amazing in baseball, but he's coming back in that second sport and
It's a
reuniting his
marketing
career.
ploy, Carson.
But at least Tim Tebow did it for multiple years. Roy Hobbs did it like he was a flash in the pan. He didn't have that durability to say that he did it multiple times, like the same thing multiple times. Like a big thing with sports is once you do something good once, people start to know your tendencies. People start to get better. He hasn't shown that he adjusted for
He had
something
one
went on.
season.
He's
Yeah.
Tim Tebow, but not as good, and no one likes
That's
Tim
the exact-
Tebow.
like, you get shot. and you
Yeah,
come
man.
back
You're
from
going
it.
to take away from
That's just the sympathy vote, man. Let's talk about sports.
No, I'm just trying to be unbiased right now. But
All right. Okay. Let's look at Paul Crew right now.
Okay. Let's go.
Let me just take one line from the Longest Yard movie. Said by
You
my-
only got one
by my-
line?
Don't worry.
You
I
only
only
got-
need one line.
Okay.
Said by my boy Deacon Moss. Slap the point shaven white boy till he cries like a baby back bitch. Paul Crew is a cheater. That's why he's in prison. No, that's not
why he's in prison.
He's also an off the field distraction because of his DUI, his drinking, and he was a cheater. Sorry, did I mention that? He's a cheater?
Yeah, you can't give that MVP to a cheater.
Listen.
You just said he brings
He's
the
still-
team together.
Regardless of what he did after he was the MVP, he was still the best player in the football
That's
league.
fine,
No,
but
no.
Carson's argument was rooted in him bringing the team together. I believe what not landed him in jail, but one of the reasons that he was a bad seed in the first place was because he did everything to drive the team apart.
But at the end of it all, he turned it all around.
Also, we're not just talking about sports here. We're talking about sports movies, and part of being a good movie and a good movie character is having depth and complexity.
I agree with
If you're
that.
just good the entire time, that's boring. That's not a good movie. Paul Crewe has real character arc. Like, he goes to dark places, and then he comes back. He is a great redemption story.
Yeah, it only took prison.
Roy Hobbs hit 35 home runs as a rookie.
You know what?
That's pretty good.
I don't
It's pretty
know
good.
too much
But
about
Aaron
Roy
Judge is
Hobbs.
also
Yeah, you guys need to go watch The Natural and then have me on another podcast and we'll talk about it.
Just about The
We'll
Natural,
talk
that's
about
it.
just The
Just The
Natural.
Natural.
That's my other argument. People have actually seen The Longest Yard.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but not by
right.
choice. Not by
Whoa,
choice.
I did.
Guys,
Not
I'd like
playing
to
the
point
judge
out
right
that
now,
there's
Joey.
nothing negative being said about Bobby Boucher right now.
Huh?
There's nothing negative to say about
I'm not
Bobby
arguing.
Boucher.
You guys need to go and
That's because
attack.
everyone's too afraid to make fun of a retarded person.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Oh,
good
wow.
point. Goddamn.
For number one, that's politically incorrect. Number two, this retarded person took the Mud Dogs to the Bourbon Bowl in his first season ever playing football.
Okay, so Paul Crewe versus Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher would sack the shit out of him.
Bobby Boucher took a team that was a team. They actually existed as a team, and he made them better. Paul Crewe took a team that people who had never played together and made them champions. That's a lot bigger. Like
Champions
in terms
of what, Carson? Champions of what? Prison League football
Yeah,
against
prison
the
league
guards? Come
football.
on.
Those people play dirty, man. That's real
Knives,
football.
I think-
I do give kudos to the Prison League football.
I think that's a bigger accomplishment to bring together a prison team.
Hey, I can't stress this enough. Like, he's never played. He didn't even go to school.
Oh, okay,
He
all
doesn't
right.
know
Okay,
anything about the
okay.
world.
Y'all, I think y'all said enough of your pieces. If I was gonna pick, I would have to say, based on, for me, when it comes to being the sports MVP, I'll have to give it to Mr. Bobby Boucher. Yes! Okay, stop. Just give me a second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Not to take anything away from Paul Crewe, not to take anything away from Mr. Hobbs, but when you can dominate on both sides of the field as much as he did, and if you do the math, this guy had how many sacks in a game? You don't do that like in regular college football, like at all.
You
And
get
he was
double-digit
super dominant.
sacks maybe like once in a season.
He had like 3 sacks in the first 30 seconds of the game. Like that's unprecedented. You don't see that. He not only did that, he did that on both sides, and also he wasn't a full sound of mind.
He wasn't all there.
He was. I didn't want to be rude, but he wasn't all there. Like Paul Crewe, he had his shit. Like he was the MVP. He did it all. But this guy, that was the first time he did it. Took him to the win. Did it dominantly, and I think that's another thing.
But if it wasn't for Vicky Valancourt and water, would he be what he was?
you could say the same thing otherwise too.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
it could go the same way.
Yo, Vicky Valancourt was hot though. For real. For real.
She was scary hot.
Yeah,
She
scary
was
hot.
Scary hot. But yeah,
Like,
I would
you
have to give it to Bobby
You have
Boucher.
to say she's hot. Or
Like you couldn't close your eyes when you went to sleep beside her. Like you wouldn't want to do that.
No. Also, I think this is Apollo's first win. Am I wrong?
Ever.
I was gonna say that myself, but
Is
yes,
it?
this is my
Oh
first
shit.
win.
Well, there you go. Congratulations.
Thanks, Kevin.
Good job, Paulo.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone. I just like to say, just go out there and give 110% every time, play every game like it's your life.
All right, and he's done. Anyways, so on to the next part of our discussion. We're gonna be talking about which sport has produced the best movies. So we're gonna be talking about actual sports in general, like basketball, football, baseball, whatever. So I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna give it off to Mr. Jory, if you don't mind.
'Kay.
Starting off.
Not a problem at all.
All right.
For me, I think the theme has become very obvious with me. I really like baseball.
Football. Oh, baseball.
I
I'm not listening.
really like baseball, guys. I mean, the list for me, baseball, football, or basketball, all three of those sports, or hockey too, I guess, Carson. All of those sports have a very long list of movies. For me, the best of the bunch, whether it's ones that have been recent or ones from my childhood, is baseball. If I think about it pretty logically, today we're still seeing baseball movies. In the early 2000s, there were baseball movies. 90s, there were baseball movies. What was the last great football movie? How long ago was that? When was the last great hockey movie? How long ago was that? When was the last great basketball? I think baseball wins.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Oh, let me know, Paulo. Let's go.
All right. All right, Jory. That was I like that. Okay.
It's just they're
You know what?
still doing it. They're still doing
You know what?
it.
It's really tough to talk about baseball as being like the best.
Oh, it's the most boring sport of all time.
It is if you watch it, but when you watch it throughout a movie, it's really hard because it actually it's a long game to watch out of a movie, but when
Yeah.
you're watching a movie, it
And
plays
I feel
out
like-
so very well. Like it's like it drags along just enough, and then you have a little bit of drama, and because it's
The
innings
thing-
and broken down in specifics.
The thing that's special about baseball movies too is the genre of movies that sport spans over. We've got serious baseball movies. We've got comedy baseball movies. Like we got rom-com baseball movies. Trouble with the Curve, Fever Pitch. Like we can do whatever we want. We got Mr.
that a
3000 with Bernie Mac. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Um,
Rest in peace.
So we got Summer Catch, another chick flick. Sorry. Rom-com. Politically
You
correct.
can't say chick flick.
I
here.
can say chick. If Carson can
We
say
said-
if
we
Carson
said
says the
retarded.
R word, I can say chick flick.
Very good
Anyways,
point. Very
it just
good point.
spans so many genres, and that's why I picked baseball.
Okay, I like that. All right, Paulo, you're up next. You're up next at bat.
Present.
All right, what you got?
All right, so I picked basketball.
Obviously.
For obvious reasons.
No shit.
I don't know. It just first of all, basketball means a whole lot to me. I'm a huge fan of the sport, but sorry, I'll stop getting all mushy on you guys. But I think basketball has the best sports movies because it's the perfect combination of intensity and what's the other word? Forgetting. Sorry, this is the moose head.
Oh yeah, intensity and
The perfect combination of
Sexuality.
intensity and no.
Let's all stare at him.
what you got?
Oh shit! This is actually affecting me. Everyone's staring at me.
Intensity and what do you got?
and finesse.
Finesse. I don't think
Alright.
that's what you were looking for, but you had to
It's
pick
close
something.
Enough.
You know
It's
what?
close enough. It has the
Make
cool
it work.
factor, but also like good movies. They make you feel something, and that's the good thing about all sports movies, not only basketball. So I'll give you guys that. But for basketball, you can. Are you okay?
I'm
Kevin?
good. Just go.
For basketball, you see everything. Like it's not a 12-hour game like it is baseball, so you can't you can actually carry your feelings throughout the whole game, and you can get. It's not like a huge team like football where you can have to follow like 50 characters. Basketball, you get that really good like one-on-one. Well, not one-on-one, but like it's easier to have like smaller conflicts, which does make for a better movie. I think. Personally, in my humble opinion, I'm gonna leave it. I'll leave it there for now. Cause
I see what you're trying to do there. You're trying to play to me because you know I love basketball.
Yeah, I love basketball too, but he does not sound very humble.
It means so much to me.
you got me, Jory.
I got you.
All right, thank you, Paulo. And we're gonna kick it to Carson now, if you may.
Okay, so the sport I chose was hockey, and I think I'm not just arguing what the movies that have been made. I'm arguing hockey as a device for telling a story, telling movies, telling about a character. And the thing I really like about hockey movies is I feel like most movies, sports movies, falls in the trap of either it's a movie about the sports and it's almost like an action movie with sports scenes instead of like explosions that just happens to have enough drama to pull it together, or it's all about the drama and it just happens to be in the context of a sports world, where I feel like hockey is the best place to tell both stories. And I feel like what happens off the ice translates more, and like what's happening on the ice tells the story of what's happening with those characters. I think there's more leadership present in hockey movies than what you see in baseball and basketball. I would say it's maybe rivaled by football in terms of the leadership that you see, but
have to agree with
the connections between the characters, I think, matter more in a hockey game than what it does in sometimes like the baseball or basketball movies. And I actually will agree with Paulo's point that you need a simplicity to your game in order to tell a story, because you can't just have a movie about one game. It has to be multiple games. And I think baseball, there's a lot going on, like the complexity.
Please, man.
No, like a baseball takes a long time. Like there's a lot that happens in a game, whereas basketball and hockey, it's pretty much like there's action happening constantly, and it's a very similar type of action. Whereas baseball, it's top of the inning, bottom of the inning, it's beginning of the game, ending of the game. Like there's so much going on. It's it's hard to tell a story.
They don't show every inning.
No, I know, but like I feel like if you have to only show a part of the game, it's easier to tell a story within the context of hockey and basketball games than it is baseball.
Okay, before we argue and before Kevin gives a decision, to finish your point, Carson, tell me the last 3 good hockey movies and don't go back to the Mighty Ducks. Go.
Goon 1, Goon 2, and I'd probably say Miracle as the third one.
And
That's
what was the third one?
Miracle.
on Ice.
Oh, okay. Also, before we continue, I'd like to thank Carson for calming us all down.
Oh yeah, 'cause we're wrong. Yeah, it's true.
So that's just my argument. I have more arguments later on, but we can open it up now.
All right, thank you all for that. So I'm gonna open up the floor.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
What's the last baseball or basketball movie that spawned a franchise or a sequel?
After you. Oh.
That's a good question, actually.
Because
A
hockey has the
baseball
Mighty
movie
Ducks.
that had a sequel.
Yeah.
Angels in the Outfield was sequels? No.
Yeah, it did
Did
have
it?
a
Major
sequel.
League?
No, it did have a sequel.
Major
It did have a
League?
Like Mike.
No,
That doesn't count.
There's no
Does not count.
I think hockey is the only
there's a
sports
sequel
movie
for-
that had a legitimate
shit,
franchise
Like
with
Goon?
Mighty Ducks.
Oh.
Goon, I would say, is doing a franchise. Slapshot made 4 movies.
4?
They got bad after the second one, but at least the second one was okay.
Yeah, but you can't judge it by quantity. There's like
Yeah.
The first one was good.
there's like 5 most valuable.
You know what matters in
primate
sports?
movies.
Franchise. Dynasties.
It's like
Hockey
4 or
movies have
5.
dynasties.
I'm giving Carson a good point there. I'll give props to Carson. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
The only
But-
basketball movie that spawned a sequel was Air Bud, and the second movie wasn't about basketball.
Fair.
He's right.
Because it was about the dog, okay? I don't count Air Bud.
Low key, that dog is the sports MVP.
That's true.
Low
though.
key.
That's true. He played everything.
Cool, when
Baseball,
I 100% agree
football,
with that,
basketball.
and I will make that statement come back later in the episode.
Tim, you just set him up, Jory.
That's okay. I set him up. Carson can knock him down. I'll see myself out later.
Okay, well, anyways, back to basketball. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
What are the examples of good basketball leaders and captains?
But good basketball leaders. How about coach from
Non-coaches, players.
What's his
leader?
name?
Oh, okay.
And don't say Coach Carter was a leader. Get out of here.
He was a leader.
Come on.
Coach Carter was a leader. Hold on a second. He was
Right,
a
back,
leader.
back to what's it called? Captains. There was, let's see. Oh, there was Monix. His name was Monix, played by Woody Harrelson in Semi-Pro. He really
Oh, I
brought that
forgot
team
about
together. He really brought that team together because they were only caring about themselves and just making the NBA. Well, yeah, and making the NBA for the merger. But he really got them. No, he led that team to actually learn how to play basketball and not only get what's his name? Clarence, their
Coffee.
superstar, Clarence, aka Coffee,
Yeah.
to like play within that system. Not to mention he is a champion with the Boston Celtics.
So you were saying Clarence Black is cocky player. He's not very good. This is a negative trait for his.
Oh, don't worry. I will address that later. I don't even need to talk about that right now.
I'm going back to baseball, though, and I'll just throw one more point out before our boy Kevin throws his verdict down, because I want to win one fight out of these arguments. And I feel like baseball, the sport, represents movies, as I said, from a variety of different genres of movies, but they also hit on different target markets. There's kids baseball movies, and there's adult, and there's raunchy baseball movies. I feel like hockey and basketball, for the most part, like if we're going to take Like Mike out of the equation for basketball, and what's that movie Kevin Durant made recently? Like nobody
I'm
watched
not
that.
saying what it is called.
Nobody watched that.
I didn't even know he made a movie.
Oh yeah, he made a movie, but like they make real bad kids movies.
It's called Thunderstruck.
Oh no!
Hey, but for every Thunderstruck, there's a Space Jam, okay?
Fair. There's
Look,
only one Space Jam.
And on that note, not basketball, I'd like to make my point for basketball that they consistently have the best basketball players in their movies, and it's not always a bad thing. Like, can you say that about football, hockey, or baseball? Like, Michael Jordan, the best at the time. What other, like, widely regarded, like, best in that sport would you see in a movie that actually is good and does well?
I don't want to see athletes in a movie. They're shitty actors. I'd rather see good actors.
Valid point. Ken
But
Griffey Jr. shows up in, I believe, Angels in the maybe. I'm
All
not
the basketball
positive.
players that showed
He
up was
shows
like
up.
Mike. That
Yeah.
was terrible. I didn't.
Yeah.
They
Mike
terrible actors.
Modano shows up in Mighty
No,
Ducks.
what's
That's
his name?
true.
Dirk was good in Like Mike.
He was terrible. Man.
Yeah, he was pretty bad.
Can I get your autograph, my niece?
What's her name? Dirk. Okay.
Give us a verdict. Give us a verdict.
All right. This is tough, man. I mean,
Do you have any thing that would help decide this argument?
Yeah,
Any
you can-
questions for us?
Take personal loyalty to sports outside.
I mean, okay, so like basketball would have to go out the window if that was the case, right?
See you, Paulo.
Football, like
Bye.
you have so much back and forth, and it's so much drama within, like, so much can happen within a split second with basketball. Same thing with hockey. This is where I'm gonna have to separate baseball with. I mean, baseball has had a lot of success when it comes to movies throughout the years, but when it comes to hitting home with me specifically, and when it comes to hitting home with being so much of good and so much of bad, so much of this and there, it's hard because baseball doesn't really do that
Why you guys gotta have me on the sports movie podcast with the judge who hates baseball?
No,
this is not fair. The deck is stacked against me. I'm not down.
No, wait, hold on. He's leaving the room, guys. Jory, come back. Jory, come back.
Jory,
no,
that's my room.
Jory.
That's not the front door.
No, but like you made very good points for baseball. I'm not gonna discredit that.
But I'm not gonna win, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm
Okay.
getting to. But when it comes to hockey and basketball, for this one, I am gonna have to give it to Carson for that one.
Damn it.
I'm so
Wow.
sorry.
Taking your
They're-
basketball
they're-
card, Kevin.
Shut up, man. they both play very similarly. They're both very back and forth. There's both the same amount of drama here, both the same amount of drama on the back end, like offense and defense. I mean, it's tough. So you can have more drama of it on the hockey perspective, and it has had a little bit more success. And it like, I'm sorry, Apollo.
He can't come to pick up ball next week.
because y'all scared. I'm a dog. I'm gonna whoop y'all asses to that too.
Do you got those like Mike shoes?
I don't need them.
Okay.
Oh, those will come back later too. Trust me.
But yeah, so I'm gonna have to give it up to Carson for that.
So
one.
1-1-0 for me. Thanks.
I
Okay.
apologize.
Hey,
Jory, you know what?
It took me 4 episodes to get my first.
And you know
Alright.
what?
Just
Like,
have me back,
Not to
please.
discredit you, but most of the topic was being talked about basketball for that one. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and he still lost. So I mean,
Hey, I got all the love for basketball. As I said earlier, baseball 1A, basketball 1B. I can't pick between
I know.
them. So I think I might have actually on the questionnaire picked basketball, and Carson may have forced my hand into baseball. So just throwing the disclaimer out there for my
And you know what?
friends.
You did a good job.
For my
I
friends that
understand
listen to
that.
this and call me and say, you like basketball more? No, I like them both the same.
So we all kind of excluded football from this, but can we all kind of agree that football
Yes.
probably
Probably the best
has
one.
the
Yes,
best?
yes, absolutely.
That's why you excluded it.
Absolutely.
That's why you excluded it.
Yeah.
That's why you completely excluded it.
Yes,
Like,
football by far the best.
For the
Oh,
same
yes.
reason that we took out combat sports movies.
Yeah, football
Yeah.
just can't be included in this
Yeah.
because it's
and
too...
the same reason why y'all took out Marvel out of the cinematic universe. It just
It's an obvious answer.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna be football. Whoever has football. is
You got to
gonna be
take out the
good.
easy ones.
All right.
All right. Anyways.
It's getting at that halfway through the episode.
But before we go, pop quizzes, assholes.
Oh shit!
What?
Oh shit, y'all ain't ready for this. Alright, so I got a question for you guys. If you guys are gonna start a football team, who do you start, who do you bench, and who do you cut? I got Shane Falco.
Oh, I thought I was gonna have to pick.
Like 52 teammates. I was like, I got to go.
Nah. So I got 3 players. I got Shane Falco, Steamin' Willie Beeman,
Oh.
and Paul Crew. Who do you pick?
Can
Well,
you
Carson
explain that
picked-
second one?
Steamin' Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday.
Okay.
The backup
Yeah.
quarterback that comes
Give
out
us
of
a little context on the 3.
Okay, so Shane Falco is from the replacements. He is the replacement quarterback after they had the strike, and they had to go and get a non-football player. He used to be a football player, and they brought him into what was it? They were. I forgot what happened during the movie.
It was lockout.
It was a lockout. That's exactly what it was.
Strike, player
It was a
strike.
So there was a player strike, so they had to get replacement players to fulfill to replace them during the regular season. So they got a bunch of replacement players, and then Shane Falco was their replacement quarterback, and he actually ended up having a pretty dope season. Steamin' Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday was the backup quarterback to I forgot what his name is. Anyways, he was the backup quarterback.
It was-
The starting quarterback got
Jamie
injured.
Foxx, right?
It was Jamie Foxx,
Yeah.
yes.
I think his nickname
Paul
was
Quaid.
Captain.
Paul Quaid was the starting quarterback. He got injured,
Dennis
and then
Quaid?
Dennis, whatever, man.
Who's Paul Quaid?
I don't know. Listen, you know why? 'Cause Paul Crew is here, and I was looking at
Yeah,
that,
that's
and
okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's
okay.
exactly why. So Dennis Quaid got injured in the movie. Jamie Foxx came in. He was the replacement quarterback, and he ended up having a stellar season. Ended up leading them towards almost the playoffs. And then you got Paul Crew, who was like the MVP of the league.
Of the prison league.
Who was the
Asterisk prison
No,
league.
he was the MVP of the actual league in the movie.
We're still fighting.
I know.
Not giving up. Not giving up. Never back
We all
down.
know who he's not picking.
You
and
ever
cut
seen
it.
that movie?
And so Paul Crew played by Adam Sandler. He was MVP of the league. Got sent to prison for DUI, but he had a whole lot of trouble point shaving. Got kicked out of the league.
So pick
You're making a good case for him right now.
So
He's a dope quarterback though.
So
right?
pick a quarterback is the question between
So
those
I'm
3.
talking about who are you picking like to start? Who are you picking to bench as your secondary quarterback, and who are you cutting altogether from your team? From these 3.
I'm picking. And this is going to sound weird because I picked Paul Crew as earlier, but I'm picking Shane Falco as my starting
As your
quarterback.
starter?
Take away his.
But
I would
only,
too.
Only because I'm picking Paul Crewe to come off the bench midway through the season when Shane Falco absolutely collapses. He's going to eventually get himself hurt. He plays way too aggressively, he's going to get a broken leg at some point. Paul Crewe is the perfect come off the bench player.
No, but he can take a hit and keep going though, as the movie was showing.
Paul Crewe?
Yeah, no.
Shane
Falco.
Paul Crewe is he's like that veteran backup quarterback who keeps the team together, while Shane Falco is the one who actually scores the points.
Did you just call him compare him to Rob Johnson, former backup of the Bills? Just because he's gonna ride the bench for 15 years of his career doesn't mean he's a worthwhile quarterback.
I'm laughing.
Yeah,
but I don't know what it is.
Football is such a team sport.
He's trash.
If you have somebody who's borderline half coach, half player, that's such a big value to football teams, and I think Paul Crewe can do that.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
You know what?
I'm cutting Steamin' Willie Beeman.
Yeah, fuck Jamie Foxx.
I will start Paul Crewe as well.
No, not as well. He's
sorry.
not starting.
My bad. I will start Paul Crewe. I just zoned out. I'll start Paul Crewe. I will cut Shane Falco and.
You're cutting Shane Falco.
Let me finish.
Oh, jeez.
I have
a soft spot for him.
So do I. But let me finish.
Okay.
I will bring Stephen Willie Beeman off the bench because that's how we got good. When he was coming off the bench.
Valid point.
Also, he's a head case. And when they inevitably the two of them when Paul Crewe goes to jail and Stephen Willie Beeman has his own troubles being a team player, then Shane Falco can come back and replace
as the replacement.
Yeah. See, I was honestly,
he's the replacement.
He's the replacement again. Honestly, that was my same strategy when I came to my answer as well. Shane Falco, I can't cut him because the guy's a legend and he can take a hit, so he's got to be on the bench. Mm-hmm. I got to give Paul Crewe the start, I guess, out of all three of those. But as was aforementioned, that guy's going to shave points. He's going to go to jail. His career's over. Willie Beeman's going to come in. His teammates are going to hate him. They're going to rival up against him. Shane Falco was the only one of those two that his teammates loved until Paul Crewe won over the prison yard league.
And you know what, though? We're talking about Paul Crewe when he was in his most...
Yeah,
prime state. So, and when he was that, he was shaving points.
Yeah, he was shaving points. So to me, at the end of the day, Shane Falco's the guy that's gonna take me to the. So
he's your starter
to the fake Super Bowl.
The fake Super Bowl.
The fake. I couldn't think of the word.
Super Bowl.
The Fooper Bowl.
The Fooper Bowl.
The Fooper Bowl.
Just sake.
All right, okay. To add on to that question, real quickly. Oh, sorry. No. Okay, so we're gonna roll off. We're gonna do.
We're not gonna add on to that question.
My apologies. I know that now. Anyways, we're gonna kick it up to halftime. The buzzer has sounded, so. So Paulo, if you could please.
All right. We've had a good 2 quarters of good, intense fighting. I think we need a little more motivation to keep this episode going. So I'm gonna hand it off to Coach Yost to give us.
Coach Yost.
Coach Yost.
Okay, Petey. Don't you drift to the strong side.
Coach, they're calling a holding penalty on me every time.
Did I ask for your excuses? You want to act like a star? You better give me a star effort. Do you hear me? Forget about him. Alan, you're in. Come on. All right. Now, I don't want them to gain another yard. You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans. Leave no doubt.
You guys hear that? Oh my God, Coach Yost, no! Listen to those goosebumps on my arm. They're popping up. Yeah, listen.
Listen,
You can
feel
hear
them. Carson, touch them.
You're right. Feel them. Carson,
Don't
feel
touch
me.
them. Don't touch
But-
them.
But people at home.
There's 4 dudes in a small apartment.
But-
Stop touching them, please.
No, but people at home listen to the goosebumps. Anyways, kicking it to the next segment that we're talking about. It's the best fictional sport. So our guest not our guest members, but our panel members, they're gonna be talking about.
You're the guest.
You're the guest.
I know. God damn. Oh, I'm so loud.
No, didn't we give him a new name?
His title's
Friend
going
of
to his
the
head.
show.
Friend of the show.
FOS. I like it.
I'm the guest.
Fuck you, motherfuckers. Anyway, so we're gonna be kicking out to the panel members. We're gonna be talking about the best fictional sport. So the guys have come up with the best fictional sports that have been created throughout all the movies throughout time, and they're gonna be talking about. So I'm gonna give out to Paulo real quickly, and he's gonna start off.
Okay.
Yeah? No? Yeah? No?
Let's do
yeah?
this.
You
I'm
sure?
ready.
Are you sure?
Left side.
Lead off. Lead
That's
off.
All right.
Okay, Coach Yost, keep it going. Let's go.
For my fictional sport, I picked a sport that should be real. No, actually, this would be terrible if it was a real sport.
The beer almost came out of my nose.
I picked rollerball.
Never should be real. Never. Ever.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Let's put that aside for now.
Fine.
I picked rollerball. A lot of you may not, like 9 out of 10 of you might not remember this, but it is a brutal sport. Excuse me. Where basically you have a goal on one end, goal on the other. It's a roller derby with a big metal ball. You whip the ball at the goal to score a goal. Sparks fly. It's awesome. But the catch is you can just beat the shit out of everyone else to get to that goal.
True. I like that.
Violence wins. Violence sells.
I like violence.
Violence does
I like
sell.
beating the shit out of somebody.
Also, everyone's on roller skates. I think there's motorcycles too involved.
I think
Or
there were
is
motorcycles. Yeah, there
I've-
were motorcycles.
There
I've
are
seen
motorcycles involved, and that's my sport. Like,
I've never seen you on rollerblades or on a motorcycle, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Me, I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, you don't look like a roller
Okay,
baller.
I'll be the commissioner. I'll be glad. I'll
It's my
gladly
sport.
be commissioner. Yes.
All right.
But like, do I really need to say more? It's just violence. Like, it's UFC on wheels with a ball and like just beating the shit. Well, that's what happens in the UFC. Like,
All right.
Okay, fair.
that's a
Okay.
quick intro to
Okay, good.
rollerball.
Good quick intro.
Rollerball 101.
All right, Carson, you're next.
The year is 1959. The movie Ben-Hur. This movie gave us one of the best sports sequences of all time with the chariot races. There was violence, there was family drama, there was such a great sequence happening in that movie. It was extremely intense. How do you make that better? How can you improve on that? I'll tell you how you do it. You take chariots, replace the horses with fucking jet engines, and you get Podracing, the best fictional sport to ever be created.
Are you done? Is that it? Because that was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That was
man.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
you know what? I'm done. That's it.
I
I'm
was
done.
deeply enthralled in that. That was good. I like
You know,
that.
he sold it
That's
super well.
I'll give that one.
That was
I'll
well
give
sold.
that one a golf clap.
That was well sold.
I put my elbow on the table. I was just looking at him deeply in his.
Yeah, I was captivated.
I was.
Now let me tear both of those
Oh,
apart.
shit.
Let me
Let's
tear
go.
both of those
Let's
apart.
go.
To me, this question came down to not about what is the best fictional sport that we ever see in a movie, but also what is the best fictional sport we see in a movie that we could play right now, right today, with one object, okay? And that's basketball. What do you need? You need humans, and you need a basketball, and a net, obviously, is required. But for me, you know, we could grab a driveway, we could grab a ball, and we got how many people here? Let's go play some basketball.
what
We
you're
got
doing.
enough. You know, it combines two different diverse skill sets from two varying sports. The psych out factor is something we don't really see in any other sports that I think would be incredible.
I mean, I do that in real basketball.
Sure, but that's different. You're not bending over and like pulling your pants down to draw a bad jump. Maybe you are. We haven't balled together.
play basketball.
You don't know how we play.
You've been inviting me to soft choice ball for weeks, and I keep saying no. That might be why. Also, here's another thing: we can't drink beer and race pods, and we can't drink beer and do death race. Okay?
I mean, yeah.
we.
I'm pretty sure Sebulba was drinking before the
Okay, maybe,
He wasn't
maybe,
drinking beer, he was drinking blue milk.
maybe. But you know, it
Is that a
boils
fact?
down. It boils
I
down.
disagree with that.
The biggest sport on the planet is soccer. Why? Because it's so simple. And basketball, so simple. You need one object and a field with which to play it on. It's just perfect to me. And it was a great movie. Shouts out. That's all I got.
Those guys.
Simple isn't always better. I mean, like, soccer has the biggest following because it's been around for a very long time. Like, it's easy to drink beer and do nothing with, but that doesn't necessarily make it a better sport. I think you want technology in your sports. You want to see how far we can
You
advance
want
sports through
in your
technology.
sports?
Through fucking jet engines, man.
I mean, like, who here really enjoys NASCAR?
Nobody.
I do.
Oh.
Oh, this is awkward.
Okay, in either of you guys' sport, can someone die in an explosion?
Yeah, rollerball.
No, I've never seen it happen.
You haven't seen it yet, but hey, those motorcycle engines, one wrong move.
I mean, It's true. It
One
could.
wrong move.
Okay,
that's an explosion
okay.
Right there.
Very
First of
rarely, but
all-
it could happen.
I'll be up front. I changed my answer this morning. My original answer was Quidditch, but I haven't watched Harry Potter for a long time. But props to Quidditch
I feel
because
like Quidditch is the football.
Quidditch is being played on university campuses worldwide by nobody that's having sex at
That's-
university.
you can't- that's what I mean,
Okay, nobody.
That's why we're not using it.
So they found a way. Virgins found a way at university for entertainment, and they're playing Quidditch. So shouts out to Quidditch, but.
Shouts out to the virgins too.
Shouts out to the
Shouts out to
virgins
the
at
virgins,
college,
man.
but yo, it's the only one of the two fake sports, Quidditch, basketball. We could go, quote unquote, play those sports right now. We can't race pods. No one's got the balls to death race. End of discussion.
Wait, I said rollerball, right?
Death race, rollerball, they're the same sport.
I see what you did there.
I
You're
think
rude.
death is it's a positive and a negative because on one hand it raised the stakes and that's what we all want to see in sports is when we see high stakes. But like if we're talking about which sport I would want to play, it would probably be basketball because I couldn't have the possibility of dying. But I think we're talking about which type of sport would I want to watch, and for me, pod racing would be the best.
I mean, how long could you really run a pod racing league? Because 9 out of the 10 racers in
Usually
each
die.
race die.
Yeah, but there's always rich huts willing to fund the sport.
Oh, sorry, I forgot we're
The
living on
sponsors,
Tatooine,
yes, the
right?
sponsors.
All right, so just so I don't keep catching L's this entire podcast, Kevin, can we give this 2 answers? Which is the best fictional sport to play and which is the best to watch? Ruling?
I mean, I think it encompasses everything.
Okay. I just want to win.
I would like to add, what was my sport again? Rollerball.
Oh, see, he doesn't even know the sport.
These two have both given up on their sport. Ho doesn't know what he's arguing. Jory is talking about the one that he almost picked. I'm the only one who's steadfast sticking with pod racing.
But you know what,
This
though?
is mine.
He's only almost talking about the one he picked, which is Quidditch, because it's the easiest one. It's like picking football out of all the arguments that we
You
talk
should have
about.
stuck with it. It is the best.
But it's easy. And like that, you know what? It would be the one that would win the conversation. But it's
Sorry, back.
no, you
Damn
don't
it.
discredit yourself. You've done a great job so
Thank
far.
you, sir.
You've done a great job so far.
Back to what I was trying to say. I would just like to make the point that
Yeah.
pod racing was in the worst Star Wars movie of all time.
It was the only reason it was good. Right?
Yeah, it must have been really fucking good if it's really good about it.
That's also a very good point.
Kevin?
So if I'm gonna rule, if I'm gonna make my judgment, I'm gonna have to pick basketball.
Yes. I caught a W.
He got it.
I got
He
it.
finally got it.
We're on the board.
You know what? It's the one sport that encompasses a lot of like everything. Who doesn't enjoy playing sport while drinking?
Yeah.
Like that's and rollerball. I'm sorry, Paulo. You forgot the name of the damn sport. Like midway through your
That's why I lost.
no, not even just that, because like it's really
Paulo can't rollerblade either.
You.
Hey, the commissioner doesn't need to do shit.
And for pod racing, I mean, you can find the same thing with NASCAR. You can find the same thing with Formula 1 racing. I apologize. You did a great job. Yo, you know what? His opening statement had me.
Oh, I was hooked, man. I was captivated.
I sat here, looked him. I didn't even look him in his eye. I looked him in his beard. I was like, God damn, man.
That is a
Okay,
beard.
I thought he was Ben-Hur.
Kevin, it's getting weird.
I'm sorry, I apologize. But yeah, Jory, I would have to give it to you. That was, you know what?
Thank you,
you
sir.
took it.
Thank you.
You got it.
I just-
Correct me if I'm wrong, scorekeep, but is it 1-1-1 right
is,
now going
it
into
is,
perhaps
it
the
is.
final question?
Ooh, let me get him.
I like this.
All right, so for the tiebreaker, for the king of the day, we're gonna do the best b-ball lineup, and you get to pick any character from any basketball team or any character that plays any sports throughout that with all the movies that have been made as your starting 5. Who would you pick?
We're excluding Space Jam.
Fair enough.
No
Space
Space
Jam.
Jam.
Yeah, it's true. Because I mean, you can really just pick the Monstars and win.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
over.
just it's
It's
not
not even just that.
it's-
The Looney Tunes can literally do anything.
That's fair, too.
That's true too. And you have Michael Jordan, and he's not allowed to be on this. So we're gonna
Unless
start off.
he's in the body of someone else. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that.
Anyways.
I don't know why.
Anyways, carrying over.
Foreshadow.
All right, so we're gonna carry this on. I'm gonna start off with Jory since you won the last round.
All right.
This one is yours.
Respect.
Please, take it away.
For me, my basketball team, I'll do it by position because I
Okay.
think that's important.
Yeah.
I think you just can't throw a mismatch of players that are all similar heights. And you got to have some clarity about who's playing where. So we're going to start with the big men and work our way down. So the starting center on my fictional basketball team is Neon Boudeaux from the movie Blue Chips. My reason he makes the squad, he was a dominant young big man showing polish and poise in college, and just dominating the paint down low.
It doesn't it helps the fact that he's also Shaq.
He was Shaq, so that was cool too. And who doesn't love Shaq
That's my
Diesel?
whole argument.
My power forward, beside the big bruiser, we need some high flying. We need some athleticism. So my man Sele from the air up there. We saw the guy. Where was he from? Can someone remind me where that movie took place?
Africa?
Something like that. But anyways,
Congo.
some random tribe of some sort.
You don't even know where your players are from?
Dude, I didn't. Anyways, Sele, man, the guy, we don't even see him play college ball, NBA ball. We see him play like Mongolian street ball or something like that. And the guy is just a dominant force. And who knows what he could be with some proper coaching, some proper practice, some good teammates around him. I think that's the guy running rim to rim, blocking shots, throwing down alley-oops. That's your man right there. That's your glue guy.
Okay.
My three man is the god, Jesus Shuttlesworth from He Got Game. What can't this guy not do? All around offense, defense, shooting, passing. I don't need to say anymore. I think he's on all of our teams, perhaps. No, maybe just one other. My shooting guard is Billy Hoyle from White Men Can't Jump for 3 very big reasons. The jumper. I think the guy misses one alley-oop in the middle of the movie and doesn't miss a single jumper.
It was more than one. Not an alley-oop. He was trying to dunk the ball.
Okay, so he misses a
missed it
dunk.
A few times.
Okay.
But still.
The jumper is wet. The jumper is wet.
It is.
He's intense. And the guy talks a fuck ton of trash.
man.
And
Trash
that is
It's a big
important.
part of
That's a big part of basketball.
That's your two? That's your two?
That's my two.
Yeah, you two,
My
okay.
one, to round it up, is
Yeah.
my man Scott Howard, a.k.a. the Teen Wolf. And the Teen Wolf
And
is
he happens to be here in the room.
Yeah, the Teen Wolf is integral to this lineup.
Yo, that
my
boy
man,
can play.
my man Scott was not only a baller as Scott Howard, but he was amazing
He was
as
not
a Teen
baller
Wolf.
as Scott Howard.
He could ball.
No, he couldn't, man.
Yes, he could.
No, he couldn't. Not in the movie. I'm sorry, I have to break it to you. He could not ball in the movie.
So he was only a baller as a wolf?
Yes.
I disagree.
That's unfortunate
I apologize.
for everyone who has him on
I
his
apologize.
team.
I
No,
disagree.
No, but they're picking him as Teen Wolf.
Okay, I'll take just the wolf,
There
and
you
that's
go.
my point
That's
guard,
what I mean.
and he can fly.
Boy, but he has to turn into the Teen Wolf.
Okay. That's my lineup. I'm sticking
I like
with
how you said
it.
it. Okay.
Respect to all the passing members from The Sixth Man and all those other movies. Props to Joanna Man. Couldn't include him/her,
He's terrible.
but that's my 5, and I'm sticking with it.
All right, I like it. That's good. All right, solid starting 5.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm looking at this whole list here, so I'm gonna pick Paula. Can you explain to me your starting 5, please?
Oh, can I? All right, I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to start with my point guard.
Yeah.
I took Calvin Cambridge from Like Mike
Okay.
with the shoes, obviously.
Well, okay, you can't pick him without. the
No,
shoes.
definitely
Okay.
not.
Point guard.
So, imagine Michael Jordan, but like 3'6".
So not that good.
So
Not as
amazing.
good.
He can still dunk. He has all the skills, but he can run under your legs. Like, how do you guard that? Really? Like,
close
it's
your
guarding.
legs.
It's like guarding an ant. Close your legs. You tell a basketball player to close your legs, like when you're.
Yeah, that's
playing
fair.
Full court.
Yeah.
5-on-5. Come on.
But he's not
So,
gonna go on your legs all the
that's
time.
my point.
At the end of the day, it's Lil Bow Wow, though,
Hey,
so...
it's whatever. Hey, he's gonna keep.
Save it for you.
He's gonna keep doing it until you stop it.
Alright, okay.
At shooting guard, I have Clarence, aka Coffee Black,
Coffee Black.
from Semi Pro, played
Unleaded.
by Andre 3000.
Okay.
He was the only one on that team, on the Flint Tropics, that was worth a damn. All right, that guy single-handedly he scored all their points basically, and that's what you need from the shooting guard, especially on my starting 5. Trust me, you'll see it as it plays out. Side note, that fro.
Has got to
Classic.
go? Has got to go?
No, I like it. I like the fro, but
Come on now.
it has anything to do with the game. Has nothing to do with the game.
Starting at small forward, 6'5"-ish, 6'6". No, it's like 6'4".
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Deacon Moss from the longest yard.
Somebody says, yo,
Played-
audience members, can somebody
You
please
can fact check this.
I'm
It's
Googling
research.
this.
I don't
At
think
small
he's 6'4".
forward, basically, Deacon Moss from the longest yard, played by Michael Irvin.
40-year-old Michael Irvin.
Wait, you know what though?
Hey,
He
let-
could ball.
He could ball.
He
He
could
can
ball.
ball. And you know what? You know how they say no blood, no foul? This guy played with real prison rules, all right? He can take a hit. You need an enforcer on your basketball team. That's the guy.
Yeah, but we're playing
Alright.
5-on-5.
Huh? You
Like
are
regular-
playing 5-on-5,
like,
but
huh?
I guarantee you, he's gonna lock down your best player.
6'2".
6'2". Hey, That's 6'2" with a prison body. All right.
Fair.
At power forward.
Fair point.
That's a strong 6'2".
Yeah, that
Hey,
is.
At power forward, you got Forrest Gump.
What?
Forrest Gump. Let me finish. All right. I can see
How
all your
tall
faces.
is Forrest
I
Gump?
can see your faces right now.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump in the character himself is 6'6".
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Tom Hanks may be like 5'11".
5'10".
Forrest Gump is 6'6".
So do we go and do the median of it, or do we pick Forrest
No,
Gump?
the
or-
character is
You know what?
6'6".
Hey,
Okay.
How
Okay,
tall,
we picked
how
the
tall was
character.
Dennis Rodman?
He was 6'8".
Thank you. He's an undersized power
You
forward.
telling me this guy's Dennis Rodman?
He is Dennis Rodman without the off-court drama. All
How's
right?
he play with leg braces?
How does he doesn't have them anymore? That's the thing.
All right,
so
okay.
when you think
Okay.
of a defensive stopper, you think of someone that's fast and that has good hands. What did Forrest Gump do? He ran like the wind, and he played ping pong at the Olympic level. He has quick hands. Hey, who can follow that ping pong ball? I tried playing ping pong. It's tough. All right.
And he plays tennis, so
Yeah.
He did.
Exactly. Not Forrest Gump. Me.
yeah.
But yeah, Forrest Gump, and he doesn't have that off-court drama. He's coachable. He tells you exactly. You tell him exactly what to do. You stop this guy, he does it. He like
Coachable as fuck. You're right.
fish the shrimp.
Coachable.
He does it.
You trying to
Right.
tell me Forrest Gump is guarding Sele? Come on.
Forrest Gump is guarding Sele. I will tell you.
I'd pay for that.
Look, Sele, you.
Okay.
I'll say this for later. You have a big front line, but I don't see a lot of speed there.
So you're trying to play small ball, is what you're saying?
I play small ball right
Okay.
now, but
Small ball works
hey,
sometimes.
every small ball lineup needs a big man. All right, and
Aha, okay.
respects to Jory, I picked Neon Boudeaux as well
Hey.
for Blue Chips.
Okay.
You know why? Because it's Shaq. That's it.
Hall of Famer, one of the greatest big men of all time. Okay, I see that.
And a great actor. Props, Kazam.
I will not.
I almost
Boy,
fell
I
off
will
for it.
not pour one out for that.
I almost fell off my chair, but yeah, you know what? Great center, great
Let's not
actor,
forget about Steve.
debatable.
Median actor.
Yeah, sure, okay. All right, Joey. Since you wanted to weigh in, please weigh in with your starting five.
I started already. It's Carson's turn.
Did we? Oh, I'm sorry. Too much beers.
That's okay.
Carson, I apologize.
I thought you were about to point to me again.
Oh shit, Carson, please, if you will.
Okay, so I'm going to jump back and forth a little bit about how I introduce my lineup because my lineup is really all about team chemistry and how they work together.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to kind of phrase it in that way. So, like Jory, I'm going to go with Scott Howard, Teen Wolf as my point guard. This guy can do everything on the court. He can dunk.
Yeah.
He can play low. He's also a really underrated passer. He has a little bit of selfishness in his game, but he learns from that quickly. And he has, I think, better passing skills than Billy Hoyle. I think he can really control the game and really help feed the rest of the team. The shooting forward I'm going to have on my team is Jesus Shuttlesworth. As
Small
mentioned,
forward? Or shooting guard. Small forward or shooting guard.
small forward.
Small forward. Okay. Sorry, you said
Small shooting guard.
Forward.
These guys are they're multi-positional.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
He's got the
Jesus
combo.
again,
Carson
like
plays
He's got the
positionless
combo.
basketball.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus, he is mentally tough. His father trained him from a young age. He can put up with any trash talker. He has no weaknesses in his game.
He's also the son of God.
He is 6'9", I think.
No, he's like six. He's like six.
No, Ray Allen is like 6'9".
No, he's not.
No,
Oh
He
no,
is
sorry,
not.
6'5". 6'5".
He's like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
Anyway, he's pretty tall for
Still,
like
pretty tall.
For a what?
for most of the people that we're playing against. Like 6'5" is going to be one of the taller players in these games. He has a great game. Again, unselfish, very coachable. He's going to help the rest of his team. Him and Scott Howard together, they're just going to be feeding the rest of the guys on his team.
Yeah.
At shooting guard, we're going to have Buddy from Air Bud.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Buddy
Okay.
physically, and this is just science, folks, he's going to have more endurance than anyone else on the field.
It's true though.
People are going to be getting
Running,
tired. People are
running.
going to be slowing down. Buddy's just going to be running along.
And for anyone that's missed this, Buddy is a dog.
Air Bud.
He's the
Bud.
best
Air
dog
Bud.
who's ever played
What a good
basketball.
boy.
And football.
Never
and
has
baseball,
missed a
And
shot.
volleyball. And soccer.
And volleyball.
And soccer.
I wasn't even
I
going
have
to
seen those
include that,
movies.
but yeah, I guess it's kind of cheating. But he's good at every sport. He's good at everything he does. And let's not forget, we're talking about movies here. Stan Lee once talked about who would win in a fight for comic book movies, and he said it's not about their powers. It's who does the writer want to win. Tell me one writer that would write a basketball movie where a dog loses. No one would ever write that. Buddy is the ultimate he's always going to win because the writer and the audience and the crowd always wants Buddy to win.
Okay.
Yo, if I wrote Air Bud, he gets hit by a car at the end of the movie. Straight up.
A fucking twist.
Already lost this argument. Now, let's see. We need to keep Buddy motivated, though. How do you do that? How about someone who's taking out cheeseburgers mid-game? You got Cheeseburger Eddie from The Longest Yard.
So who is he? What is he gonna be for
Tell us
you?
about Cheeseburger Eddie.
He's power forward.
Okay.
Because he demonstrated in the basketball scene of The Longest Yard that he is a great shot blocker.
Yeah.
He can come out of nowhere, even when he's not on the court, come in and block a shot.
Yeah.
He's got physicality. And also, as we talked about earlier, shit talk and trash talking is such a big part of the game. I would argue that Cheeseburger Eddie is among one of the biggest shit talkers in the game. He's going to rile up everyone. He's going to get them off their game because he's always in their face. He's always talking shit. And also just physically superior. The guy is jacked as hell. He's going to go up against everyone. He's going to be super strong.
That's Terry Crews, right?
Yeah, it is.
And then talking about strength, I'm going to go to my sender, Chief from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I know most of you listening probably have not watched this movie.
Guaranteed.
Chief,
Facts.
basically, he's in there as my rebounder. He's tall. He's going to sit under the net. He's going to grab those rebounds. And we're talking about strength. This guy at the end of the movie ripped a water fountain out of the ground of a prison asylum and threw it through a window and ran out of it to his freedom. Like, ultimately, Chief is one of the strongest guys out there. He's one of the biggest guys out there. He has that strength. His main weakness is, does he care enough to actually like bring his A game?
And
you
can
got
get out of the straitjacket.
you got Buddy, you got Cheeseburger Eddie, you got Teen Wolf. These guys are bringing so much energy and momentum and motivation to the game. Chief is actually going to bring that full potential. They're going to get the best out of each other. We got Cheeseburgers feeding a dog. We got energy feeding Chief. We got Teen Wolf giving great passes to everyone. This is a great lineup right here. And
There's some chemistry there.
Chemistry.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
All right, I'm talking shit right away. Okay, let's talk about
Okay, do your thing.
let's talk about Billy Hoyle for a second.
Alright, let's do it.
This guy cannot make good decisions. Anytime he's done anything good in his life, anytime he has an advantage, he's always gambling everything to like prove himself. Or all you got to do is talk shit about his ego, and all of a sudden he's taking chances that he has no business taking. And ultimately, he made that dunk at the end. That wasn't a real dunk. It was an alley-oop. He's never actually made a dunk by himself.
Put it in the rim.
He put it in, but he didn't carry it up himself. It was just an alley-oop.
You're right, it is.
He's easy
You
to get
wanna
under his
talk
skin.
about good decisions? Like your point guard Air Bud can get distracted by a little chew toy at the side of the court.
He's my shooting guard,
Oh,
actually.
sorry, shooting guard.
Yeah,
Shooting
honestly,
forward.
if you want to talk about Billy Hoyle and like rip him apart, like you have two guys on your lineup that look like they couldn't play more than 3 minutes in a basketball game without puking on the sidelines.
Who we talking about?
Like, what is Chiefs' endurance, okay? And how much water do we have to have on the sidelines and kibble for Buddy? And like,
You don't need kibble, he's got
Cheeseburger Eddie,
cheeseburgers!
Who's sponsoring?
Just throwing cheeseburgers. He got him in his pants, he's got him in his
Carson,
head, he's got him everywhere.
Cheeseburgers work
Carson,
wonders, man.
Carson,
This is
when
the most animated I've ever seen Carson.
Carson, Wendy's or McDonald's?
You
Who
know
is
what?
sponsoring
It's so
Cheeseburger
close.
Eddie?
No, it's McDonald's.
It's McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Okay.
Yo.
Okay, he's
They
getting
use it in
McDoubles?
cheese,
Sorry,
baby.
as a
It
dog
ain't-
owner, it's not healthy to feed your dog.
It's not. Don't do
Yes.
it, please.
Especially if they're McDoubles dressed like Max.
Oh shit.
But you gotta pay extra
That
for
come
those.
out
now.
of
feed me
Cheeseburger
those.
Eddie's
Yeah.
Feed me
shorts.
those, please. All right, go on. No, I say feed me
And also, in regard to Chief's endurance, he spends the entire credits of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest running into the horizon. He never stops. It's all about motivation. Like, you see him in the game, and it seems like
How long are the credits?
It's fucking like the whole credits, man. Like,
Okay,
he's
I
running
get that
forever.
he's. I get Carson. I get that he's motivated to escape from prison, but tell me why he's motivated on a basketball court.
No, like it's motivated just in general, and like when he's on the basketball court, he doesn't care because he doesn't see what the point of basketball is. But so you need motivational people. Scott Howard, very motivational individual. I don't think you're going to talk shit about Scott Howard because he's also on your team.
No, I can't rip up.
Jesus.
Then allow me.
Oh!
Wait, let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's more inspirational than a golden retriever playing basketball
with
like,
a wolf.
Yeah.
All right, rebuttal. Paulo.
Look, can Scott Howard play when there's no full moon? I mean, like.
Yeah, actually, he has full control over his well-worth
Oh, he
powers.
can just
It's
angry.
fully based on his anger. It's not based on full moon at all. That's
It's based on
canon
his
of the
anger,
movie.
so
Apparently
he
you
has to
didn't watch the
He has to
movie.
get angry and emotional. I haven't.
No. So in the movie, he can decide whether the wolf becomes popular and he makes decisions about when he does or does not
Yeah,
appear as the
that's
wolf. For example, there's the prom that's part of the movie, or a dance, or whatever it's called, and it's like, will he show up as the wolf? Will he show up as the person? Everyone wants him to be as a wolf. He shows the mature ability to show up as the person, to be who he genuinely is.
I don't know,
so he has full control over that.
Your team captain seems like a real head case.
Wait, y'all didn't name who your team captains were.
Huh?
No one named who their team captains were. Is
Oh.
it the point guards, or do you have specific people who are the team captains?
My team captain is Calvin Cambridge.
Paulo, how can you leave
Calvin
Jesus,
Cambridge?
How can you leave Jesus Shuttlesworth out of your lineup? That
You know
is
what?
disgraceful,
Because
and your lineup is invalid.
I do not need him. Okay, let's go back to Calvin Cambridge.
You have
He's-
Forrest Gump. I think you need all the help you can get.
Yeah. You have Forrest Gump.
What's
I'm
wrong
gonna
with Forrest Gump, Carson?
I'm gonna steal Calvin's shoes.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, what's wrong with Forrest Gump, Carson?
Tom Hanks is 5'10". That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else about Forrest Gump. I'm just saying he's 5'10",
I don't
not
know,
For good
6'5".
reason.
I don't know who Tom Hanks is in this world. I know who Forrest Gump is, and he's a lockdown defense.
I don't think
But can he
that
be
the book
coached?
has any credit towards the movie.
Time out. Can he be coached? Of course he
You know
can
what?
be
I
coached.
think he's the most coachable out
He-
of everyone here.
Forrest Gump is the mo. You might be right.
No, to be coachable,
No.
he is definitely.
Forrest Gump would be very coachable.
And Air Bud if you have enough treats.
His one command was run,
Or if you
Forrest,
have
run, and
cheeseburgers.
that
I don't know.
motherfucker
Motherfucker ran. Props.
Okay, so let's talk about Deacon Moss. He's going to be on the court for 4 minutes before he uses up all 6 fouls and is fouled out of the game.
also a good
He can't score a single point without punching someone in the face
Oh my
or
God.
elbowing someone in the face.
Of course
he
he
has
can.
way too much prison
Look,
rules, way too much
We're
violence.
talking about playoff basketball, okay? This, like, no blood, no foul. Like, these refs let a lot of things go.
Since when were we in the playoffs?
Huh?
Playoffs?
Look, you build your
Playoffs?
teams. You build teams for the playoffs. I just hope we can win a game. You build your team for the playoffs. The regular season doesn't matter.
I think we should put this this debate to the social media. Maybe do like a little poll of some sort and let the fans, all 10 of you, decide.
No, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna decide right now.
Wait,
game over.
Before
No, it's
you
done.
say that, as the social media update guy,
Final
I do
arguments.
like that idea, but
Final
no one will
arguments? Fair
vote.
enough.
No. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I've heard everything. I'm gonna give you guys one more chance with your final arguments to give me the reason why you deserve this win. Okay, Paulo, we'll start with you.
Let's talk about matchups, okay?
Okay.
What's the most dominant team right now in the NBA? Golden State Warriors.
No, debatable.
Excuse me?
No,
That's not a
you know what
debate.
dominance is?
Right now, in today's
Dominance.
It's Cleveland.
Dominance.
It's Cavaliers.
No, you can go either way with Cleveland or the Warriors. Dominance means
NBA. Who beat Cleveland in the finals?
who beat Warriors the year before.
They've won 2 out of 3 finals.
But they're not dominant.
Sounds like that point didn't go very far.
Oh my god.
Dominance,
Anyways,
though.
try again,
okay,
Paulo.
Go on. Okay, go on.
They are consistently winning the most games in the NBA right now. All right, the Warriors. They're playing small
You got
ball.
Cleveland, you got
This is what
Spurs, you got...
you have them, but they're losing. So
Okay.
you have a small ball team
Yeah.
that's defensively minded
Yeah.
with two core scorers
Yeah.
and fuck.
Yeah?
Defensively minded, 2 scorers, everyone knows their role, and they're tough. Alright? You got prison rules, Deacon Moss, you got Shaq, you got Forrest Gump who's locking down anyone coming through the lane with those quick hands and that quick feet. And then you basically have Michael Jordan at the point guard. Alright?
Okay.
You can't beat that. First of all, Air Bud, talking about matchups, Air Bud versus Calvin Cambridge. Air Bud's gonna just want to play like lick at his
Lick his what?
lick
his
his
what?
butt.
Lick his
Sniff
what?
butt.
4,
Whatever.
3.
That's all I gotta say. Whatever.
All right.
Two.
All right. Let me go next.
1.
Let me go
All right,
next.
Jory, do you think?
So my lineup deconstruction of Carson and Paulo's lineup.
All right, do you think?
Kelvin Cambridge, I'll steal the motherfucker's shoes, and he's not doing anything, okay? If we're talking real NBA basketball, Carson, Air Bud's not stepping on the court, and Cheeseburger Eddie isn't eating cheeseburgers during intermission. Scott Howard can turn on his wolf ability when he wants. I don't think the NBA can be, I don't know if that's discriminatory, I don't know if that's racism, but they can't say, hey man, you can't be a wolf on the court. If he wants to be a wolf on the court, he's going to be a
He's
wolf
still
on
him.
the court. He's still him, and you're going to have to agree with me, because guess what? He's in your lineup too.
It's how he
And Jesus
identifies.
Shuttlesworth, Sele, Boudeaux, and Billy Hoyle, all 4 of those motherfuckers, they can ball. You got a dog, and I'll just have some kibbles and bits in the fucking other end of the stadium, and he's going to be distracted, and game over. So I think, honestly, my 5 is beating your 5, Carson, and your 5, Paulo.
5,
4 out of 4.
4, 3, 2,
Finals.
1.
I'm done.
Okay,
Carson, your turn.
as a quote from Airbud goes, ain't nothing in the rules that say a dog can't play. Billy Hoyle, we've never seen him play 5-on-5 basketball. There's a reason he didn't make Summer Pro League. I think this is it. He has a history of bad decision making. I don't think he can play the complexity of a 5-on-5 basketball game. Deacon Moss is going to get fouled out. Buddy is going to chew up like Mike's shoes. And Forrest Gump has never played basketball before. All these people are going to ruin themselves. My team is built towards everyone makes everyone else better. They're going to play the best that they can out of everyone.
You have a crazy
And with
person.
time to spare. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna. You guys all made very valid points. I'm gonna go based on position wise. This is kudos to you guys. All very solid points. But I'm gonna have to give it to Jory for this one.
Woo!
Winner
I
of the
apologize.
podcast.
What?
Winner of the podcast.
I will. You know what? And I'll break it down for you guys based on this. So you go like everyone's named their strengths, but here come the weaknesses. Like when it comes to the point guard stuff, Calvin Harris, this guy, you take his shoes away, he's done. He breaks his shoes. They're
Calvin
all,
Cambridge, not Calvin Harris.
Yeah, we're not at a dubstep concert.
bad.
Relax.
You know what? Man, I've had way too many beers. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, Calvin Cambridge, take away his shoes. He breaks his shoes. Game over.
Hey, it didn't work out for the villain in Like Mike, all right?
And then he still broke his shoes. Then he can play anymore.
Not because they did take away.
That's
his
all you have
shoes.
to do though. You take his shoes away. Game over. That's it. Point guard done.
He still
Then
won
you
the
have
game.
the two
Whatever.
Teen Wolves from Carson and Jory's team. They cancel out. Then you got the shooting guards. I mean, you got Airbud. Granted, he didn't miss a shot, but he's very easily taken out of a game. You really can take him out of a game pretty easily. So he's canceled out for
Man,
me.
we got the cheeseburgers.
Carson put a lot of thought into it.
He did.
Respect.
I liked it. It's very out of the box.
Respect.
Yo, with the Chief too, I like that. That's very out of the box. But when it comes to the centers, yo, Shaq playing Neon Boudeaux, yo, that man will beat out Chief any day. So I'm gonna give it to Paulo and Jory for that one, and then I'll give the power forward out to Saleh from the air up there. 6'10", the boy can run like a deer, back and forth, up and down the court.
Yo,
boy
that's
wins that one.
young Giannis
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo.
Shooting
Sele,
guard.
that's young Giannis.
Yeah, the shooting guard, Billy Hoyle over, like I said, Airbud and Clarence, because the boy did not miss. He's not a dunker. He's not athletic. The boy can play a combo guard. He's a point guard and he's a shooting guard. He can do it. He can do it those ways for you. And then what am I missing? Small forward. Okay, so I got small forward. I got Deacon Moss. I'm sorry, Paulo, but you got Deacon Moss?
Yes!
Michael Irvin.
Yes!
No, man.
Oh, my
He's a
goodness.
football player. He's gonna get you 6 fouls in the first 2 minutes. Who is he? Peter Iskandar? Goddamn, I'm telling you. The
Wow,
boy
that's
will
rude.
He will get you so many damn fouls, too damn quick. He's not gonna be.
You
able
have
to play
6
the game.
fouls. Hey, as long as he's coached right, he can save those fouls.
No, he can't. No, he can't.
You can't coach that man.
Nah, man.
You
I'm
can't
telling
coach
you,
that.
he is gonna get fouled out. He's gonna get way too
If
many.
Paul
damn-
Crew can do it, any coach can do it.
because he was coachable. Deacon Moss is not coachable.
No, I mean if Paul Crew can coach him,
And
any
also,
coach can do
he has
it.
no. All he can give you is defense and a
Hard
little bit
picks.
of athleticism. Jesus Shuttlesworth can give you shooting. He can give you defense. He can give you pretty much he's an all-around player. So I would take him over that. And then the overall team is going to go to Jory because it just meshes so well. You got athleticism. You got offense. You got defense. You got size. You got speed. Sorry, Jory. I mean, sorry, everybody else. Jory, you take
Sorry,
it.
Jory, you win.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, my man. You win today's.
Who wins the podcast? I win the
I'm sorry, guys.
podcast.
That was-
All right, it is time to wrap up another podcast. So as we always do, we're going to give our recommendations of what we're looking forward to coming out over the next month. Kevin, how about you go first?
Oh goddamn! I did not research this. I do not know. what's
Paulo,
going on
go
next month,
first.
So please, Paulo.
All right, so I am going to recommend Bodied, which is coming out at the Toronto International Film Festival. It is a movie about rap battling, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoy very much. I watch on YouTube a lot while I'm working. Don't tell my boss that. Shout out to Soft Choice.
Fire him. Kidding, though.
It's just like I should mention that it's being produced by Eminem, who made the last battle, the last movie. Yeah, it is. It's he was in the last movie, the last good movie about rap in general, rap battling.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's been
All right. There's
Compton.
movies about rap.
Straight Outta Compton
Straight out of Compton. Jeez.
was better than 8 Mile.
I didn't say what. I mean, like the last, like. pretty
The
good
last
movie.
good, yeah, whatever. He's produced by Eminem. I think he's a good authority on rap. It features a lot of rap battlers that I know, not personally, but I know of very well. I just think it's going to be enjoyable. Also, there's going to be a rap battle live on King Street during TIFF, and that's why I'm recommending that one.
Jory, how about yourself?
I'll throw, I guess, it out there.
No one wants to watch that scary
You
ass
know
movie,
what?
man.
One,
No.
I hate scary movies.
Me too.
I'm not seeing this movie in theaters, but clowns are kind of cool.
Fuck the clowns.
And I can deal with a scary
Nope.
movie on about a Saturday
Nope.
or a Sunday
Nope.
with the sun out,
Mama,
my
hold me
windows
tight.
open,
Nope. No one
10
wants to watch
a.m.
this shit.
So
No.
I'm going to look forward to it because, to be honest, there's nothing really
Fuck.
else in September I'm that hard for.
Honestly, when I first saw like the It movie and heard about it, I thought it was going to be terrible. Like, but Cary Fukunaga, who did the first season of True Detective, like I think he's done a really good job with
Yeah.
this. Like, I'm actually
Yeah.
kind of interested in it, which is pretty good considering like all that remake bullshit. Kevin, about yourself?
I just told you I don't have anything.
Okay.
I apologize.
So
I will Google something right now.
Okay, while Kevin's waiting, I'll do my announcement that Paulo alluded to earlier. The Toronto International Film Festival is coming out next month. I will be there every day, and I will be live tweeting from our Twitter handle, which is at HWHA Podcast. I'll be giving you live updates of the movies I see. I'll be going to about 20 movies. The one that I'm most looking forward to is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's from Greek director Yorgos something or other. I don't remember his last name. But he did The Lobster. He did Dogtooth. He's done really interesting movies. We got Colin Farrell in this one, who did a good job in The Lobster, and I think it's going to be, if nothing else, interesting, which is what I like to see in a film.
Hey, anyone in this room know what the fuck The Lobster is?
Yeah.
It's a fucking fantastic movie. That's what it is.
Joy, the fight's over.
Sorry.
Anything, Kevin?
Nah, I got nothing.
So what Kevin meant to say was Kingsman, because no one else
Yes,
has said it.
Kingsman.
We're all looking forward to Kingsman.
We are.
Matthew Vaughn never made a bad movie yet. I think it's going to be terrific.
Wait,
Also, Channing
it's actually
Tatum
coming out in
is in it.
September?
September 22nd, coming out soon.
Oh, okay. End of September, that works. Okay.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in, and just remember, we're having a Ask Me Anything for next month, so send us your questions about any movie, anything that you feel we can answer. We are, after all, the movie experts. We know absolutely everything about everything movies, so send us your questions.
That's right.
Even things you think we can't answer, just send us questions. How was our day? Doesn't even have to be about movies. Just ask us anything.
Let's
Please.
talk.
Come on, just no one's listening. Just
Everyone's
you,
listening.
you and us.
All right, thanks for tuning in, and join us again next month.
Peace.
Out.